So in the previous part, if you remember, we had seen how Kakabhushundi and Garuda, who were these main characters, and finally Garuda has a few questions for Kakabhushundi. And now, as we had already seen, Kakabhushundi is a great saint and who had already seen lot of yugas, starting from the Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. So like this, he had seen many yugas. And once Garuda comes to meet him and inquires about few questions, and for each of this, the reply is given. So basically, these questions they focus on the nature of God and how the path of love is. So like this, if you see, mainly the base, the purpose of human existence also, or what are the diseases of the mind, what is the worst sin, and so on. So, what are the differences between good and evil? So like this, there are different questions that are asked by Garuda and the answers are given by Kakabhushundi. So the first question asked by Garuda was, which is the highest form to obtain in one's life? That's when Kakabhushundi gives an answer, there is no other form as good as the human body. So if you have got this Manava Janma, there is nothing beyond this, because it is believed that after 84 million, and like this, there can be a variation in the number. After so many births also, finally we get this human Janma. And every living creature who is there, they all desire that one fine day one's atma that is there should go to heaven, hell also, and finally to happiness. So men who fail to worship Bhagavan also, what they will do is they will fail to obtain this human body, or even if they get this human body also, they will again fall into the trap of pleasures. They will throw away whatever is there in their hands and so on. So just getting a Manava Janma alone is not enough. To make the best out of it is something which is there in each one of our hands, and of course to Sadbuddhi, Satsangam, that is there, no doubt the grace of the Lord. So if you consider our own selves, it is again, we have all got the Manava Janma, moreover Janma in Bharata Bhumi. That too, if you have little, at least if we are towards this path, we know what we are doing also, that itself has to be the grace of the Lord. The next question that comes is, which Garuda asks is, what is the highest form of pain which one can feel, which one can experience? That's when Kakabhushundi gives an answer that there is no pain as terrible as poverty, daridram, that is there. Because when a person is poor also, you can go to any extreme in life. So it can be anything. Poverty of, it need not be only of resources, wealth alone. It can be maybe you don't have someone who is affectionate, loving to you, or maybe wisdom. So anyway, poverty is, that means you have something less, right? Or you don't have anything. So if you don't have wisdom, you don't have the right resources, you don't have wealth, you don't have a house, you don't have affectionate people around you, then there is no use. That is the highest form of pain. Next is, what is the greatest form of joy then? That's when it is Satsangam, which Kakabhushundi says there is no great blessing or no happiness, no joy than having good people or good sages around you. सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वं निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन मुक्तिः. Just as Shankaracharya in his Bhajagovindam, to attain Jivan Mukti also, the first path that is there is Sat Sangam, meaning the company of good people. Further, Garuda asks a question saying that, you tell me the difference or tell me the features of what is good, what is bad. Don't we need the right discrimination power that is there? So that's when Kakabhushundi says that qualities of, that is being qualities that way, meaning what you think, what you say, kriya siddhi, manasa vacha kriya, as we say, meaning whatever you think, whatever you say, whatever you speak, and whatever you actually do, all these three should be the same. But in the case of most of us, what we do is we think one, we say something else, and we end up doing a third thing. So in this case, it is very, very dangerous. So if you see, this is something which is there in great people, great sages also, and they will also guide others also in the same way. Whereas causing others suffering also is something which is very, very bad. And it is said that good people also, now there are a lot of subhashitas in Sanskrit literature related to this. Good people are like trees. They will give back to the society how much ever they can without even thinking about their own self also. Let their skin be peeled off, let them be tortured, but still they will end up doing good things only. But like the animals maybe like a serpent or a rat or so on, they will always injure others, right? Similarly, the wicked people who are there, they will always cause suffering to others. Moreover, there are also few, just as a serpent and a rat, the same example that is given, just as they go and you can say destroy the crops of a farmer or so, who has put in a lot of efforts, he loses his prosperity, right? Similarly, there are people who, having destroyed others' prosperity also, they feel that they have done something great, but one fine day it will definitely bring about their own downfall. So therefore, one who always goes on the right path, like in the company of good people also, will always be joyful in life, just as the sun and the moon, they bring delight to the world. After day it is night, again there is a day, again there is a night that comes in. Similarly, good people who are there, they will always bring about good things and joy in life. The next question is, what is the highest merit or highest punyam which one can get? Ahimsa, which is also mentioned or known to the Vedas, which is applicable to not only living beings alone, human beings alone, plants, animals, and all living creatures. Next is, what is the greatest form of sin? Greatest form of sin is speaking evil of others, especially of God, saints, sages, devotees, fellow human beings, fellow animals, for everyone. You see, some people have this, including us also, we have this habit, right? Even if someone does not do anything to us, still we end up maybe poking at them, keeping some evil names to them, and so on. So all these things it is considered to be a greatest form of sin. Finally, Garuda asks a question, and the last question is, what are the diseases of the mind? That's when lust, or you can say over passion towards things, that is the root of all ailments, right? Our mind gets attracted towards something, and that's where the root cause starts in. And this leads to various other troubles, and the other Shadripu, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsaryam. This is the root cause of the various diseases of the mind. And with this, Garuda ends asking his questions to Kakabhushundi. Kakabhushundi gives an answer to all these questions. All this reference is there in the Tulsi Ramayanam, that is the Uttara Ramayanam. And especially Tulsidas, in the Ramcharitamanas, he highlights this very much, and wherein why now here you see why it is very, very symbolic is Tulsidas in fact concludes his Ramcharitamanas with this conversation between Garuda and Kakabhushundi. Now the fact that Garuda, he goes to a crow or so for spiritual instruction, that is there, is considered to be very, very symbolic. Why it is this way? Why would the king of birds go to a crow, right? That is, one who seeks wisdom also should be prepared to be learned from any source that is there. You should not look, that's the reason it is said that one should never test one's guru or so, or guru is the only relationship or the person with whom there should be nothing which you should seek. What is the age of the person, what is the gender of the person, what are the qualities of the person, what is the form of the person, what is the qualification of the person? No. If the right qualities of a person are there, if you are getting to learn something, that person is a guru. With this, Tulsidas concludes this conversation between Garuda and Kakabhushundi in the last chapter of the Ramcharitamanas. And a teacher or a guru must not be judged by their outward appearance. That's the reason. Now, though Kakabhushundi was a sage, he was in the form of a crow. So this is the context of a guru's wisdom that is there, and ultimately that matters is spirituality, or how one is enlightened in life. So this is a conversation of both Garuda and Kakabhushundi. It is a base of philosophy. I just told you the gist of it. In detail, you will find their discussion in the Ramcharitamanas.